So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Leading up to the release of The Force Awakens, I reviewed every single movie, including the Clone Wars one. So of course, I must discuss the other movies as they come out. With Rogue One, I waited until the film was released on Blu-ray before reviewing it, mostly because I wanted to watch each new Star Wars movie twice, and I only got the chance to see it once in the cinema. And this one I want to see more than once, especially because I wasn't sure what I thought of it the first time around. The reviews have been very mixed, with some praising it as being one of the best in the franchise and others considering it to be the worst after the prequels. And although I left the cinema having had an enjoyable time, there was something about the film I couldn't quite put my finger on. And now I've seen it again, I can pinpoint what does and doesn't work about the movie. The film is the first in the Star Wars Anthology series, which are films set in the universe that aren't actually a part of the main saga, which explains the lack of an opening crawl. But considering this movie is basically just a crawl from the original movie anyway, there's not a lot of point in making one. The film is all about a group of rebels who meet up over the course of the film and are set with the task of stealing the plans for the Death Star. The film follows Jyn, who is rescued from an Imperial labor camp by Rebel Alliance Captain Cassian and K-2SO, a reprogrammed Imperial droid. Cassian and K-2SO take Jyn in front of Mon Mothma, who asks her to join them on a mission to save Jyn's father Galen, who is kidnapped by the Empire and is forced to become a research scientist on the Death Star. On their mission, they meet blind spiritual warrior Chirrut and his mercenary friend Baze. Together they go to see the rebel extremist Saw Gerrera, who raised Jyn after her father was kidnapped. This is because Gerrera has imprisoned an Empire defector who has a message for Jyn from her father. In the message, Galen tells Jyn about a vulnerability he secretly built on the Death Star and directs them to a databank on the planet Scarif where the plans are being held. This then sets them off onto their path to retrieve the plan with the help of a full rebel fleet. And that's the core plot of the movie. The story of the film is really good. It's interesting, exciting, compelling. It's easily what keeps the film so entertaining. Although we know the outcome of the movie, it was exhilarating to see how it got to it. The problem is, I feel like they maybe made it a little bit too complicated. They get too caught up in the connection between Jyn and her father in the film, and it wasn't really needed. It creates a little bit of tension between Jyn and Cassian, tension that is soon forgotten about, making it completely pointless. There are many moments where I feel like the people making it didn't really have a strong idea on how to reach its conclusion naturally, and because of that, a lot of the film does feel like pointless padding. And to be honest, I think I could have accepted this if we had some interesting characters leading the film. And now we get to the biggest downfall to this film, its characters. The characters in this film are so bland and uncharismatic. We have the moody girl, the guy who cares about nothing but the Rebel Alliance, the comic relief droid, the blind ninja dude, the guy from 4 Lines, and this one. None of the characters really have distinct personalities or traits that make you care about them, which inevitably makes the film's attempt at a powerful ending fail catastrophically. And when you consider that a lot of this film is character-based, they really messed up big time here. But hey, I don't hate the movie. There's a lot I really do like about it. The action scenes are fantastic. I was excited when hearing that Gareth Edwards was going to direct it, and I expected a much more grounded film than other films in the series. I anticipated that we'd feel right in the middle of the action, up close straight on the battlefield, and that is luckily exactly what we got. The action is exceptionally well shot and strikingly directed, and the effects in the film are really well done also. I'm pretty sure there's a healthy mix of CGI and practical effects similar to The Force Awakens, and even if there isn't, I couldn't tell at all. That's how impressive the effects are. And all throughout the film, you feel like you're a part of this universe. We explore unfamiliar places that are very different to any of the places we've seen before, and it really expands the universe out remarkably. The new locations feel gritty and lived in, just like in the original trilogy. The film is a lot gloomier than previous movies in the series, and at times feels a lot more somber and realistic, which definitely works in the film's favour, but also kind of ruins moments too. Like, we go to Star Wars to watch fun action movies full of lovable characters, fast-paced action, and great humour from the characters, and sadly we don't get a lot of that in this film. Instead, the film feels more like a war movie, which I guess could work for someone who wanted that from the film, but I personally felt a little bit put off at times by the style. The other big complaint I have with the film is it really does drag on. It's quite a simple story, and the way they try and expand crammed it into 2 hours ends up becoming tedious and boring. And it sucks for me as a Star Wars fan because I really wanted to go in and love the movie. I really tried, guys. I don't know, it just didn't really do it for me. There were moments I loved and moments that I thought were terrible. It's overall not the worst the series has to offer, but it doesn't hold a candle to the original trilogy and even The Force Awakens. It's an exciting addition to the saga and it's nice to see the universe being expanded with these spin-off movies, but personally, I feel it missed a lot of the notes it needed to hit for me personally to really dig it. And for that reason, I give Rogue One a 7 out of 10.